I would say I was a survivor, and I would probably identify as being a thriver. It does take courage.
I am a multifaceted enigma, mixed in with a little ADHD and a little bit of levity.
I'm just a spoken word artist who has the courage to recreate himself and create platforms where other people can reignite who they are and sift through the things that they were.
You know what? I was just kind of messing around and creating things that looked interesting to me. I guess some of it looked like art.
Art is so expressive, it's so real, it's tangible, it's personal.
Welcome to Just Healing, where we rediscover humanity in our conversations around trauma and celebrate all the unique ways we love and heal.
Good morning, good afternoon. I'm Michael Munson. We are sitting here today with Michael Crowley, Michael Guinn, with Bradley, and remind me how you say your last name.
I'm Bradley Gubler.
And I am here today with Josh Knight. I'm really excited to have this conversation and share with all of you a little bit more about who he is and his involvement in the upcoming Courage to Create event. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you so much, Michael, for having me.
I'm wondering if we can start with a really simple, basic thing of like, hi, who are you? Can you give us a snapshot about who you are, what you do, what kind of art you do, all of those good things?
Definitely. My name is Joshua Knight. I was born and raised in Heber City, Utah. I'm a floral designer. I have a small urban flower farm. Now I have chickens. It's a thing. Look it up. I'm an uncle, a brother, a gardener. I am a lover of all things beautiful. I find joy in a lot of different things in my life, especially what I do for my career, which is design floral pieces for weddings, funerals, everyday birthdays, anniversaries. So yeah, I am a multifaceted enigma. I have a million different interests mixed in with a little ADHD and a little bit of levity. So there we go.
My name is Michael Guinn. I am from East Texas. I live and work in the Dallas, Texas area. I am a full-time social worker. I work with our youth who age out of foster care, but I'm also almost a full-time speaker, poet, MCs, and also I am a survivor.
I am a sexual abuse survivor, and I would say that it has affected me deeply. I did spend much of my life burying that trauma, trying to move away from it. I spent a professional career working for the federal government in Washington, D.C., and now I've been living outside of Boston, Massachusetts, in a small suburb for about 10 years. I am someone who likes to get involved in my community, and so I've served on various committees. I was on our local school board during COVID when I started really experiencing nightmares having to do with my abuse. Among the things that I was trying to do to relieve the stress was I started playing with photos. I started manipulating photos and cropping things and running the photos through various filters to do something that looked interesting to me, or to pull out details, and I guess some of it looked like art.
I think I'm what I would say a complicated person, and I think most people are. That's what makes them interesting. I would say I was a survivor, and I would probably identify as being a thriver.
I don't feel like that life is an end point, so I'm going to say I'm on my journey still. So yes, I'm probably still going to learn more and still be curious about other people and go from here. So that's who I am.
Let's talk a little bit about the event that's coming up that Men Healing is hosting, called Courage to Create. And when I first heard about those words, Courage to Create, I was like, okay, all of those words are kind of potent or calming or good, or they stir up emotions in me. And I'm wondering what they stir up for you.
It really got me thinking, well, how can I be part of this? Like, we're looking for artists that have found healing through their journey to healing, but also how they express that through their creativity. And so for me, I didn't really think about it. I just did my art and it just came out of my hands. But then when I really broke down what it meant, the courage to create, really sinking my teeth into like being able to be a part of this evening means so much to me, because so many of us out there find outlets of creativity to be able to release stress, release trauma, release guilt, shame. And so whether we realize it or not, and so to be part of this, to be invited to be part of this, is a huge, huge honor for me to be able to go through my design process and how it has kept me and healed me on my road to recovery.
It's an excellent phrase, courage to create. I think that's what we're all doing right now. But for me to be a part of this event is tremendous. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Men Healing and all the work that they're doing, and just to say I'm so proud and honored to be a part of their movement, this movement that they're doing to create more spaces where people have the courage to create. I'm a person who has found a path to my healing using creative arts and spoken word. I'm just a spoken word artist who has the courage to recreate himself, and then also has the courage to create platforms where other people can recreate or reignite who they are, and sift through the things that they were.
Well, the courage to create. I think it does take courage. If we're not looking at our fear, we're reacting to it, and then we're being controlled by the fear. And so this is an empowering event. It's saying, this is my story. It's not a sibling story or another relative story or a friend's story. It's my story. I'm a visual person, and I like depicting these complications in a visual part, and show my emotions through that way. That takes courage.
I'm wondering if your process of art is resonant with the theme of the courage to create, if that meshes with you and your art.
I think it does, because I think anytime you create something and you share it with somebody else, you're kind of opening yourself up. As a survivor, it's extremely difficult to put yourself out there and be open to judgment. And with art, I think it's the same thing.
We're here to talk about art. Some people talk about their art as art. Some people talk about it as lots of different things. Can you tell folks about what type of art you do, or how you classify the creative things that you do?
I think of art in different classifications. There's what I call simple art, is where you have maybe a simple emotion of joy. A landscape to me can be very technical in its creation, but it's maybe simple in the feelings that you have about the piece you're painting. And so that is simple art. And then I call complex art, which is something that I do pretty much solely for myself. And that's when I am exploring emotions with the piece. And it might be a person, subject matter, but I will put the emotion in that. And sometimes these pieces of art tell a story.
I know you do a bunch of different things. I call it one thing. You're going to call it something different, I bet.
Yeah, spoken word for me is for me it's a combination of rhythmic storytelling and some of the tenets of poetry. It's a mixture of both of those genres. Obviously, poetry is a whole different thing. It's a very disciplined art form, so I would not take away from poetry by saying that spoken word is poetry. It's its own thing. It's a combination of poetry, storytelling, and just truth and transparency. You can use that as a platform for your message, and that message can evoke healing and a path to other people's healing as well. So that's what spoken word is to me. It's just a powerfully creative storytelling with rhythm platform using some poetry things.
The way I got started, honestly, with this, I developed some pain in my neck, and I ended up going to a physical therapist. And really interesting guy. He was about to retire from his physical therapy practice and devote his life to his passion, which was photography. But it's not conventional photography. He pulls out details that look interesting to him and experiments with different things like perspective and close up kind of cropping so that you're not really sure what you're looking at. Frankly, he's kind of an inspiration. He'd say, "Look out the window. What do you see?" And I'd say, "Well, I see such and such." And he said, "No. Look for the details. What do you see?" He kind of taught me to open my eyes. I started seeing things that I'd never seen before. Just the juxtaposition of some branches in the sunlight against the sky may look really interesting. And I'll snap a photo, and then I'll do something with the photo in terms of cropping it or adjusting the colors. Or sometimes it's architecture or the portion of a building or a roof line. I started manipulating photos, pull out details and things, and I guess some of it looked like art.
I would love to hear more about how the word art is connected to what you do, because it sounds like it is connected to what you do.
My driving force or my zeitgeist in life is I seek joy. I seek joy in everything that I do, whether it's interactions with people, whether it's cooking food for someone or gardening or floral design or whatever it is. I seek joy. What that means to me is that that keeps me going and finding the passion in what I do. Something that I realized just recently about my art is that flowers are not to last forever. Flowers are for the moment. They're not supposed to last forever. They're supposed to remind you of what is the moment and to keep you present.
I love that concept too of, right, keeping us in the present, because so many of it's really hard to stay in the present. I mean, for many of us. And what a beautiful thing if we can just orient and be present with what's in front of us. You're somebody that I view as a really giving person. Our intro, you said that, I'm a social worker for my living, but like, hey, I'm do all this other stuff, which to me is all about giving. And you are giving to this event at the end of April. What does giving mean to you?
Giving means to me that I have the opportunity to now share some of the things that have been successful in my healing. I have a chance to be a person who has been reignited, to share what has reignited me, and help me recreate, a version of me that wants to give, wants to help others by lending a hand through poetry or storytelling to others, so they can see that there are multiple options for the pathway to their own healing. So me as a giver is someone who, just gives time, gives advice, or either just present and listening, and just affirming to people that, there are people who want to hear what you have to say, no matter how traumatic it is, because we have to work through those things. And the first thing is to give time. And that's what I like to do.
Sometimes when people think of giving, they think about, oh, we need to lay out cash to give. That is just like one of many things. Do you have other things, maybe not what you do, but what other people can do that's about giving? What are some forms of giving that you think about?
There are a lot of ways to give. You can give airtime. You can give interviews. You can, help, share, things on Facebook and Instagram about the things that are about giving back. So there are a lot of different ways that you can give of yourself, but mainly you have to be willing to be in the moment. So that's, to me, the ultimate sign of giving.
You pay it forward. I think I'm wired to give something back to the community. It helps you out because, when you're have trauma. It helps you because it empowers you because you're not in the mode of being in survival when you can give. You're in a mode of being empowering, that you can trust that tomorrow is going to be.
Giving can mean a number of things. It can mean different things in different contexts. In terms of sexual abuse survivors, men healing has been such a great help to me in terms of learning that what affected me has affected other men and other people. Very eye-opening for me, and I would like to see other survivors benefit from organizations like Men Healing and the Weekends of Recovery. And so if there's anything that I can do to help ensure that more of this is available to others, I would like to be a part of it.
You are somebody that uses creativity in your life and for your healing. What do you think other people can do, or how can creative arts help other people in their healing?
It's a chance to get it right again. It's a chance to come out of your shell and be beautiful and be accepting of who you are. Art is so expressive. It's so real. It's tangible. It's personal. I've met some incredible artists over my life, and whether they're an oil painter, a sculptor, whether they're a florist, whatever they are, or whatever their medium is, they're so passionate about what they do, and they're so often overlooked because it's art, it's subjective, it's not worth that. But what you're saying is you don't value it, but someone over here sees the value. And it's just like that in our real lives. People will overlook you, not seeing the gem that is in front of them.
We all know a lot of famous singers and playwrights who have kind of taken their lived experiences and created a platform, a movie or a film or a play or a song, and use those to let people know that you're not by yourself. You're not alone in this. This has happened, but we can heal from this. And look what I did with what I went through. Look what I did with my pain, with my history. I found a way to use it to find my way out of darkness to light, and you can do the same thing. You can find a way out. Just share and use whatever you have to kind of create breadcrumbs to other people's safety and support.
I think it's important to envision a different future and a continuation of that gets better. The visualization is a process of not seeing where it is now, but kind of a goal of where you want to be, and envisioning and seeing how it's like, type of thing, whether it's living in a different part of town or being in a relationship or not in a relationship. Visualization, I think, is a good path.
I want to ask you a really big question. It's a big question that we could probably spend years talking about. But I'm curious what healing means to you. If somebody said, "Hey, what does healing mean?" What is it for you?
This is what I've come to believe, based on my own personal experience and listening to other people who have been dealing with their abuse histories. Healing is a bit like the experience of grief. So if a loved one dies, we will always have pain associated with that. It just won't go away. That's a fact of life. And yet, over time, our grief can lessen. So I'm using this as an analogy to healing. Over time, our pain from our abuse histories can lessen, and we can learn to more fully engage with and embrace life in perhaps even ways that we never thought would have been conceivable. I don't think there's an end to the process. But we can learn to live life more fully. And that's a great goal.
Healing means to me is that I have finally embraced and accepted my past, the things that hurt, and I am making peace with that. I am finding that I don't have to stay back there. Healing means that I have found a way to move beyond that, and that I know that I'll be better because of my movement away from always thinking about those things in the back of my mind that hurt me, that I don't have to stay a hurt person. Healing means that I no longer have to hurt, that I have support, that there are other people who have been through that and have found a way out too. Healing means that I have a community of people who are also healed or in the process of healing. So that's what healing means to me, is that I'm finally coming. I may not be all the way healed, but I'm getting to a point where I love myself, I like myself, and I'm willing to accept what has happened to me.
I think healing for me is accepting that you are not responsible for what happened to you. Healing for me is knowing that I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna hit rough patches. I'm gonna have times where I'm gonna question my life's existence and my worthiness to be here. But also knowing that I have a place. I have a right to be here. And I need to tell my story. Because I've lost so many people in my life, just to natural causes or old age or suicide. And I think knowing that for me in my journey, you get to a place of hope, of understanding of yourself, of the situation. And gosh, you got me crying. I will be on this road to recovery till the day I die. But I have to say that finding the knowledge that you are not responsible for someone else's actions, whether you were 9 or 19 or 29 or whatever. But I think going through this process of therapy, of processing my life and the abuse, it's definitely opened my heart and my mind to the battles that people are going through that we have no clue about. And it reminds me to be more gentle with them, more understanding and loving, but also more gentle, understanding, and loving with myself. But I also have to take a step back and realize it's made me the man I am today. It has made me more compassionate, more loving, more tenacious, more resilient.
Bringing the intellectual and the emotional together. And I think when we're going through the process, we over intellectualize. A lot of times that's not threatening, but to incorporate a little bit of the emotional part into it, explore the meaning, the feelings in your dreams, not just the imagery. And when you look at art, do the same thing. Look for what does it feel to you? Not just, oh, it's a painting of some old church, Look for your feelings there. Be aware of them.
Another thing, Michael, is that I've always known from the very beginning that my responsibility as a male storyteller, as a male spoken word artist, that, it's all about, other men seeing that there's value to being transparent and vulnerable. And I've always understood that responsibility. And that's another reason why I love men healing, because that's what they do. They epitomize the opportunity for men to be transparent and honest and vulnerable. And from that comes this community of support and soul sharing. And I love it.
I just am so incredibly honored to be part of this process with Jim and you and everyone else that I'm working with. It's an honor to be even considered to do this, because I think this work is so powerful and so potent, and we're still trying to get through everything and be whole. And the more people that come forward, the more lives that are saved.
I know that fundraising is extremely important for men healing, and so I do hope that this turns into a successful fundraising event. I want to see men healing succeed. I want to see men healing be there for other people, and frankly, selfishly, I'd like to see it be there for when I'm ready to come back.
Thank you. I really appreciate you spending time today. I really appreciate the work that you've done and your contributions. So thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity to share, and I can't wait to see everybody on April 27th.
Thank you so much, Michael.
I look forward to it. This guy is picking on me. And then I put the counselor here that you may recognize. I'm not big enough to take on this guy, but this guy and me together can take on this guy. And so that is one, that's what I call complex art.